Teenage rebellion. You know, some people dabble in drugs to rebel. That's how I rebelled. You know, but who didn't do some questionable things in high school, and who doesn't regret the 80s to some extent? I certainly do, and I most certainly regret bringing it up to Bill Maher.
That's Christine O'Donnell last night talking about how she dabbled in witchcraft. I don't regret the 80s.
And going negative on the 80s. Fascinating. Top Line begins right now.
Hello and welcome to ABC News Top Line. I'm Rick Klein.
And I'm Jonathan Karl.
Every day at noon Eastern, we're right here bringing you the latest in politics, everything you need to know. It's twitter.com/Rick Klein, twitter.com/John Karl, where we love the 80s.
I mean, that's Ronald Reagan?
Yes.
I mean, it's a very strange... Anyway, who knows?
Tact.
Who knows? But we're going to start with Egotistical Bastard. I love Bob Woodward books. The latest Woodward book is not quite out yet, but boy, it's been leaked in the New York Times and in the Washington Post. One of the great quotes comes from Joe Biden, who calls Richard Holbrooke the most egotistical bastard he's ever met in Washington, and that is quite a statement. But the really interesting stuff is not the name calling, it's not the infighting that you see in every Woodward book revealed, but it was a quote from President Obama, an on-the-record interview with Woodward where he said this: "We can absorb a terrorist attack. We'll do everything we can to prevent it. But even a 9/11, even the biggest attack ever, we absorbed it and we are stronger." Look for Republicans to jump all over that. The context here is the president was clearly being pushed into an escalation into Afghanistan by the Pentagon, by the military, but that's a quote he will regret.
Extraordinarily, to get that from a president of the United States is just very out of the ordinary. Yeah. And you're right, Republicans will jump on it, but this is it's a fascinating book based on the excerpts we've seen so far. To see all the internal machinations, the name calling, the infighting that goes on. This is a president really struggling with his military all the way through the process on Afghanistan. Next up, it is Pandemonium, a new Quinnipiac University poll should send shivers down the spine of every Democrat in the nation. It has Carl Palladino, the Tea Party favorite in New York, in that governor's race, down only 6 points to the very heavy favorite, the Democrat Andrew Cuomo. This is unbelievable. If there's only a 6-point race there, we're really talking about possibilities across the board. Now, we know this is just one poll, but still, 49-43 is a lot closer than anyone thought.
And remember, Palladino is somebody who has said some truly outrageous things. I mean, there was the whole controversy about racist cartoons that he was emailing around, and he said that Obamacare will kill more people, is more deadly than 9/11, a tough thing to say in New York. One thing about that poll, though, it does not include the conservative line. And Lazio lost the Republican nomination, but right now he is still on the conservative line. Unless he pulls completely out of the race, that will certainly affect the outcome. Next up, Excommunicated. Boy, are the Republicans playing hardball with Lisa Murkowski. First, she was stripped of her leadership post. Now she has been stripped of her status as the ranking member on the Energy and Natural Resources Committee. They are not playing nice. They are upset with Murkowski for waging this write-in campaign, and they are playing hardball. Joe Miller is now the man of the Republican establishment.
And really, you look at the difference with the Democrats, what they did to Joe Lieberman. They weren't nearly as mean. They let him have the committee assignment. They let him become chairman when they won the majority, and he stayed as an independent. Not so for Lisa Murkowski. And finally today, Sharing Club. The latest Archie comic imagines a very heartwarming scene. And check this out, because we've been running a little caption campaign on this. This is, of course, Barack Obama and Sarah Palin sharing a milkshake. The favorite, and please on Twitter, at Rick Klein, give us your suggestions. My favorite so far, my milkshake brings the boys to my backyard.
Yes.
That's going to be tough to beat, but try your best.
That's brilliant.